A lot of business owners are making the same repetitive mistakes with their meta ads, and I wanted to explain to you what I just explained to somebody that runs a business where they do like outdoor adventure type things. So they're usually booking people out months in advance, like 6 to 8 months in advance. And what they were seeing was a year over year downturn in their ad results. So things just weren't really working that well. They weren't sure why. They're looking at all this data and statistics and all the metrics out of the ads manager, and they really just didn't know what to look at and what to pay attention to. And I was able to help them because if you could just narrow your focus to a couple of key things, it makes all the difference in the world, and you can actually see a really quick turnaround in your results. So something that I like to talk about a lot also is people don't seem to understand this, but you have to picture this as a pie chart, okay? So we've got a pie chart here, and we've got a very small sliver of people that are our buyers, okay? So this is literally like 2 to 3% of our buyers. And these are the people that are ready to purchase something within the app today. That leaves 97, 98% not ready to buy, okay? I talk about this all the time, but it's a huge pool of people that just want to be entertained, right? They're there to message their friends. They're sitting waiting for a doctor's appointment. They're on the couch after work. They're easily distracted. So these are people just like you and me, right? You might watch a video, shut your phone, and go do something else. So you're not really there because you want to find something. This is an interest-based platform. I'm not on there searching for a plumber. I'm not on there looking for coaching or anything like that. But the webinar folks, the people that are running courses, the people that are selling digital products, service-based businesses, even brick and mortars, really doesn't matter. You guys are advertising as if somebody's literally looking for your service right now. And I would just invite you to take a longer view of things because yes, you can get the sale right now, and yes, you can get in front of a lot of people, but like this person was dealing with, they're spending a ton of money doing it to the point where it wasn't making fiscal sense to advertise anymore. And the reason why it costs so much is because they're bidding on this 2 to 3%. They're fighting everybody else in that business or in that audience, right? It's not just your niche that you're in, you're fighting for the audience. So I'll just draw this my little graph here. So I like to do a line graph, right? So let's say this is the bid cost for the audience. I'm just going to do a dollar sign there, but bid cost. And this is over time, right? So literally time moving forward, right? So what happens is when you're bidding for that audience, well, the cost of the bid literally goes up because you're fighting everybody else. If you are a health coach and there's 50,000 other health coaches out there, which I'm sure that there are at this point, and you're all bidding on the same audience, well, guess what happens to the cost? The cost just goes sky high, and then eventually somebody loses, right? Because you literally get priced out of the market. You can't advertise at these prices because if it's costing you $80 or $100 or $130 or more to get a lead in the door, your business just might not work that way. And unless you are charging some insane amount of money to get a result, most people can't do that. So what I did with this client was I was helping them diagnose what the problem was, right? So we were dealing with this situation. And what worked really well was the first thing that we did was literally get them out of this competitive pool, okay? So we literally put them into the non-competitive pool because this is, first of all, where you're going to get a very cheap you're going to get a very cheap engagement. And then also you are warming up your audience. Remember I mentioned that people are distracted. They're on their phones. They're not on their phones, right? They're brushing their teeth. Maybe they're scrolling for 5 seconds and then they disappear. You need to have an ecosystem in place so that you can get back in front of those people. So if somebody sees your health coaching ad and they're sort of interested in that, They might watch 25% of it. They might watch 100% of it. That engagement is what the AI ad delivery system is watching. And it's going to know that that person watched. Now, let's say that same person went away for the weekend. They're off their phone. They're not looking at anything. And then all of a sudden they're back on Tuesday scrolling. Well, the delivery system is going to remember that they watched your ad for a certain length of time. It showed that you were really interested in it. And guess what? It's going to show them a different ad from you or the other people in the audience. So literally, because that's its job as the algorithm, it's there to show people the right piece of content to the right person at the right time. So it's going to start showing your ads to these people that are interested. And guess what? The more watch time that these ads get, okay, the better idea it has for who else to go find. So not only are you gaining the interest of this particular person, but it's going to train the algorithm to go out there and find more people like that. So it's like a compounding positive effect. And when you can do this successfully, you can literally drop your ad costs in a really significant way. They were able to get like 12-cent views after we worked together because of this. And literally all it took was getting them out of that competitive pool and repositioning them so that they can actually get in front of their ideal clientele in a cost-efficient way and in a way that we keep coming up in their feeds over and over and over again. It's a really important thing because, again, people are not necessarily looking for your service right now. They might need to be engaged with you several times before they decide to move forward. If I sell let's say I sell a package where you can literally rent my services and I will fly you around the islands of Hawaii, right? And it's a day trip and it costs whatever it costs. Just because you saw that the first time, you might not care. You might not be that interested. You might watch through. Let's say I actually have a trip booked for that island and it starts showing me that ad again and I'm watching it and then it shows me a different ad where maybe we could see what the day is like once we land. Maybe there's a lunch included. And then they show a different ad and we can see what we see from above. And then we can see a different ad and we can see what the whole experience is like and what the result is. Well, then at that point, I might say to myself, yeah, I want to book this trip. This is interesting to me. Let me go check them out. That is really what we're after with our ads. So I think a lot of people need to understand that you're not going to get a very quick sale with this. You have to be willing to put in a little bit of time. Now, in their case, they were able to see a result within like 3 or 4 days. It depends on the business. It depends on what your following is like, how warm your audience is, how big of a pool of people that you have in your sphere of influence. If you have 50,000 followers, this might work for you really quickly. It might take a day. And you might be able to do it for like a couple cents on the dollar or a couple bucks. I had a different client that was able to implement this exact ecosystem. And within, I think it was 5 days, they were able to get a sale on like $126 worth of ad spend. And this stuff works. And I just want people to understand that, like, if you're fighting everybody else, you're going to pay the price and you're going to have to get in front of people a lot. And it's just not an efficient way to go about this because you're going to spend so much money trying to get in front of people only 1 or 2 times. They're going to get distracted. They disappear forever. And your money just went down the drain for no reason. So if you want to be more efficient with your ad spend, if you want to have a conversation with me where I personally, literally will help you diagnose this in the DMs, we could just chat, shoot me a message because this is what I do all day, every day. I enjoy helping and I am seeing really good results with it. And there's no reason why any other type of business would not be able to utilize this strategy. So I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks for watching.